James, the U.S. is now reporting 30,000 new cases a day. And I want to put up a chart that shows the curve of cases in Italy and China, which have leveled off and are now going down, and the curve on the far right there, here in the U.S., which is still in the early stages and still headed up sharply. Given the course of the disease in China and Italy, and that we are weeks or months behind them, how bad is this epidemic going to be in America, and how long will it last?
Well, it's tragically fitting that we're talking at the beginning of Holy Week, because this is going to be the hardest and the saddest week of most Americans' lives, quite frankly. This is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment, our 9/11 moment, only it's not going to be localized. It's going to be happening all over the country. And I want America to understand that. But I also want them to understand that the public, along with the state and the federal government, have the power to change the trajectory of this epidemic. You mentioned Italy and Spain. They had a very, very hard time, and they're still having a hard time, but they seem to have reached their peak and are coming back down on the other side. And you say weeks, months behind, I would actually push back a little bit. When you look at their trajectory, from about a month ago is when they really started to lean into their aggressive mitigation efforts, their really aggressive mitigation efforts. And so I want Americans to understand that as hard as this week is going to be, there is a light at the end of the tunnel if everyone does their part for the next 30 days. We're seeing Washington, actually where this started, doing a much better job. California's trajectory has leveled off. And so there is hope, but we've got to all do our part.
Let's talk about mitigation, because the president's top health advisors, including you, say the most important thing we can do, all of us, is to stay at home. And yet there are still 9 states